Good evening, friends. I think I am audible. Am I right? Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Fine.
Yes.
Uh, yes. I I just want to say that my first of all, my first sexual harassment was at the age of between 6 or 7. That happens for many of the trans people who do not know what is sexual and sexuality, and we are abused uh, during our childhood times. And I would say that no church gates were open for the trans people at the beginning or at the end of 90s, where they were looked by the priests and by the leaders of the church, some kind of aliens we are. I was born and brought up in a very pious and traditional Catholic family. And like all of us will have a kind of desire and ambition at our childhood times or during our adolescent period that we should become some kind of leader in the future. So even I had my ambition to become a priest, a Catholic priest. So after my schooling, after my completing my school, I joined the seminary, and I was there for a couple of years in the Catholic seminary for my formation. One fine day, my novice master, he's the director of the novitiate, the seminary. He called and he said, Inba, I'm unsure about your sexuality and I do not know what kind of gender you belong to. And this is not the right place you're supposed to be. So you better leave the congregation and you find your own way. Neither he wanted to ask me what sort of problem I'm undergoing or what kind of difficulties I'm facing and how can he help the future upcoming students or upcoming generation to know about the sexuality and gender identity. So I left the congregation by 1996. Then I joined the college and completed my studies. And I was not willing to go back to my home and be with my family because from my adolescent stage, I was finding that I am a quite different person because I had my own sexual issues and I would say that gender issues to identifying myself, what sort of person I am belong to. So later I joined with my community members and I found Redills is a good place for me for my survival. And I came here in 2009 and 2010 and almost 11 to 12 years I'm working with the trans people who are in Redills. We have around 50 to 70 transgender people living nearby and surrounded by Redills. You would have noticed in the video what we do. And this particular video is something to tell the society, even we are also willing to be a part of Christ, and we are also willing to follow the principles of Christ, and we are also living the living the Christian's life, what the other people are living. So later, we built a church for our regular activities, prayer worship, and we are doing our regular worships. Then nowadays, we are looking forward for the self-empowerment and education and equality. And we are motivating the people on self-employment as well. So this is what the regular activities, what we are doing. Santosh?
Santosh ji, you need to unmute yourself first.
Thank you, Inba, for throwing some more light on what we had seen. You have just shared about your initial days and especially the life with the seminary and the way that you started. And just few questions just I wanted to ask you. The first question is the education, as you stated that you are working with the motto of education, empowerment, and equality. That especially, I just want to highlight the education. Could you please explain that what kind of education are you giving to the people around you?
Well, Santosh, you would have noticed many of the trans people either they go for begging or for as a sexual workers. This is what our earnings. This is what we've been doing regularly, traditionally for our income. Most of the transgenders are school dropout because of the sexual discrimination and stigma what we are getting in our school days. We do not want to go to school. So many people, many you would have out of 10, you would see that around 8 to 9 members would have not studied because of the discrimination. We don't go to the school, and I'm a bit clever in that, and I've completed my engineering by 99 and 2000. So I thought I should do something for my community member. Even I joined in an MNC and I was working for a couple of years, in which I was not able to sustain for further more years because of the discrimination, even the workplace. So I thought I should do something for my community members. We have many people who are um, even they have not gone to school for a single day. We have few people completed their 7th standard, 8th standard, 9th standard invariably. And we have few have come up to their college studies. According to their education, we motivate for them to do a kind of self-employment. For example, a person is bit clever and completed 10th or 12th standard, we train them and we make them to stitch their clothes and get order from the other members and their earn their incoming. And we have noticed few are 7th and 8th standard school dropout, and I thought that we should motivate them by doing some kind of grocery shops and other, not even a 2nd standard or 3rd standard. So I thought we can train them on dairy farm, cultivating goats and getting milk and then selling that milk products and earning money. So this kind of work what we are doing for the trans members. But this cannot sustain for a long time. So what we thought, maybe once in a week Sunday, after completing we have our regular worship on Sundays. So we gather by 11 o'clock and 12:30, 1 o'clock we complete our service, prayer worship. Then after that we have a common lunch. So all together, all of us will come together and we have our lunch. We cook by ourselves and we eat on that day. After completing finishing our lunch, then sit for a while, and maybe 2:30 or 3 o'clock we start our classes teaching one to learn how to read and write, we teach them. If they want to learn how to stitch, we teach them. If they want to measure how to put the groceries and pack, and we do teach them. This is how we educate them. So the teaching is done by the transgenders for the transgenders. So this is how we teach them. We do not want them to go back to schools and get discriminated, then come back. So we don't want to proceed. Though the city of, the Tamil Nadu is far ahead comparing to other states, but still we have a lot of discrimination in the schools and colleges. So according as per our limitations and our learnings, we teach the other transgender people.
Okay, thank you, Inba. Could you please tell something more about your organization, Snegidan and Snegidi?
Okay. Snegidan and Snegidi is a good Tamil word, which says Snegidan is a kind of friend, male friend, and Snegidi is a kind of a female friend. Usually, the transgender will be having dual quality within the dual sexuality within themselves. Um, physically might appear male, and mentally, internally, we think that we are, or I shouldn't say we think, we are female. So with that name, we combine of male and female with an affection to the world or to the society. So we thought we can form a name, Snehidan and Snehidi. This particular trust is working only for the transgender activities. We have a community hall built by ourselves, and we have a chapel as well as a trans chapel built just recently, and we blessed the chapel on December 2020. And this particular community hall is used for all our community activities, and we fight for our rights, and we are looking forward, and we should do fulfill our responsibility. This is how we work out. This is our uh, about our trust.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Another thing is, another interesting thing that we have noticed is you built a church, you built a chapel. And
Yes.
could you please tell us something? What made you to construct a church, basically?
Okay. So, dear friends, as I told you that I'm from a Catholic background, and mostly the transgender community will be in a different religion sector. They might be in a different, maybe some few maybe Muslims, many will be from Hindu background, and few could be from Christian background. Altogether, for us, God is one. For me, God is one. Christ is my God. So I had the routine activity of going to the church on Sunday basis, sometimes on during the weekly basis also. It was around 10 years back, I would say that a very festival time, we together went to the church. Nearby my place, there is a Catholic church. We went. During the communion time, I think I shared already this with many times, but still I want to share with you. During the communion time, the priest refused to give me the communion, and he said after the mass, I went and spoke to the priest. Why you did not give me the communion? Because I'm a Christian Catholic. And he said, no, um, I I am not able to accept you as you could be a Christian. So in his mind he thought there wouldn't be minority, sexual minority will be, or gender minority will be in Christian community. And there are sometimes when we sit in the church also, there wouldn't be any other male or female sitting nearby us. There will be a huge gap, and the other place many people will be sitting together. So we thought that we should have our own prayer worship hall. As we read in the Bible, book of Genesis, book of creation, chapter 1, verses 26 or 27, 28, 30 says very clearly about human creation, how God created the human. God created man in his own image. He created man uh, in his own image, which means he created male and female. So the God has dual dual sexuality within himself. So we thought God also could be a trans person who has multiple sexual identity within himself. So we thought, and we started having our prayer worship in our trans people house itself. Once in a week, we'll be gathering in one particular house, and we'll be having songs singing by ourselves, reading Bible verses. Then one will be explaining to the community what the Bible verses says. And then later we thought we should build a church for us, for our activity, chapel for our activities. So with the help of few donors, we built a small church where we can accommodate 50 to 60 people in a hall, and we have our regular activities in our church. This is what we do in a regular basis. And we do not come under any particular denomination. We don't go by either they are Catholics, they are Protestants, they are CSI, whoever may be. For Christ, everybody is equal. This is what we read in 1 Corinthians chapter 15:50 says, flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. So, and in Galatians 3:28 says, there is neither Greek or nor Jew, and there is slave or nor free. There is no female, male or female. So all these verses says all are equal in the presence of God. This is what we heard even in today's prayer worship also. Everybody is equal. So we do not want to people to avoid us. So we have our own worship where we could see that presence of God within ourselves. So our regular activities goes this way, and I'm sure God will hear our prayers, and He is hearing our prayers.
In generally, the family is the greatest support, greatest strength of every person in generally. But when it comes to the transgenders, basically, and the LGBT community, most of the time it won't be, family won't be the basic support. So in your case, what do you think that, how did your family reacted to you when you identified with the different sexual orientation?
Okay. My family, my brother was a great support for me. I wouldn't say all my family members. My brother, he knew about myself. He was able to understand the difficulties and the problems what I was undergoing at my childhood days. I mean, at my adolescent stage, and he is elder to me, and he is bit clever as well, as he was able to understand what are the difficulties that trans people will go. So I had a good support from my brother. So with the help of my brother, I was able to be mingle with my family. So but still I don't go to my all my family activities. Once in a while or once in a year I meet them. Apart from that, we have regular phone conversation. But these days, the trans people, they have younger transgenders who are upcoming. They have good understanding. Their parents, they have good understanding, because a lot of awareness what we are getting in the social media. So their parents, they're able to accept their children if even they have trans children. But in 90s and 80s, 90s, and 2000, we didn't get a chance to be with our families. These days, we have a better society. So I'm sure in the future, we can see tremendous changes in the future.
But most of us, those who are here, are one or the other way connected to the churches. One or the other way, we are all connected to the churches. So finally, what do you want to say to all of us as we from the side of church?
Okay, Reverend brother, we can see in the history, we can see if we go through the history, we could see many changes, many revolution taken place with the support of the church. And this church leaders of our church, in many places, in many seminaries, even I have gone to many seminaries to teach and to tell the students, upcoming priests and brothers, who the trans people are. They learn everything, they get to know everything. By practically speaking, they don't implement anything what they learn. So the leaders of the church, they should think even trans people also the creation of God. Even they have their own emotions, they have their own rights, they have their own responsibilities. So these people, they should allow, these people, they should teach the non-community, so-called the faith, who the trans people are, what sort of problem they are undergoing, and how should need to accept even the trans people one among us. This is what the leaders of the church should do. So if they do this, I'm sure in the following years, we could see wonderful changes even in the church. And we could see many even priests also upcoming from the trans community member. We have only one priest from Chennai. So I'm sure in many places also we can get trans priests also coming forward to serve for the God.